We will not copyright or trademark that. We do not have the rights to this at all. Please do not sue us. Thank you.
Hi, and welcome to These Unprecedented Gays, a new podcast starring Paul Smith and Joe Granelli. Follow us at tugayspod on Instagram. New episodes every Friday. We hope you enjoy. Hey everyone, thank you for joining us for These Unprecedented Gays. I'm Paul.
And I'm Joe.
And we just want to start off the new week. So, Joe, how you been doing? What's going on?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for asking. I just love how you care about my life. Actually, this week has been kind of a fun week for me because I have decided to become a dog dad. Not yet.
Yes, Daddy.
Yeah, and now I can. Now people are gonna have to call me Daddy, which is fine, I guess. But over the past couple weeks, I was kind of like, well, can I get a dog? Should I get a dog? Do I want a dog? I want a dog because, I can't date right now, so a dog is the only next best option. And so, actually today I was able to get an appointment at a shelter, and I went in. It was last minute, super kind of, you had to call and see if there were cancellations. And I went in, I drove up, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so exciting, right? I see all these puppies, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm in love with all these dogs. I love all the dogs. I want to take all of them home. Obviously, I can't do that. But I meet one, and I'm like, this is great. And they went to call my landlord to get approval for me to start the adoption process, and they're like, oh, well, your landlord said that they don't allow pets. And I'm like, that's funny, because in the application when I did it, it had, do you have a dog? So then I called, and they're like, well, we don't allow pets, but we allow emotional support animals. So, if you have a letter or a whatever, then, we'll process through. And I'm freaking out because I'm there. I fell in love with this dog named Socks, and
we're changing that name, right?
Oh, 100%. And so I talked to the adoption people, and they said, well, we can't do anything. So now I have to get a letter to say that I have emotional distress and that I need a therapy dog, and I don't have any way of doing so. So I'm reaching out I went online, and they have certification programs that you can fill out. And then thankfully I have telemedicine, so I went and I got a note from the telemedicine doctor, but that's been my day and my week. So I'm going to be a dog dad come hopefully tomorrow, and we can have play dates with your puppy.
Yes, Daddy, come through.
Yeah, that's basically my biggest update. What about you? Anything fun?
So great week, but I am most excited about what's happening right now because in the studio, my living room, we have Coco San Diego. Yay! Hi, Coco.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing great.
How's your week going?
It's going. I'm like, tomorrow's Friday, so I feel like today's the best day.
Awesome. So, Coco is a local influencer here in San Diego. We actually met at a Explore North Park, which is an area here in San Diego, also event for Wear Magazine, which is a magazine in hotels, and it's very specific for the city that you're visiting. But they invited concierges, which is what I was, and influencers, which she is. And we just started talking. What restaurant were we at?
It was, I think, Urban Solace. Huh?
It was Urban Solace.
R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P. Rest in power, or rest in peace, whichever one. But
wait, is that the one in North Park?
It was the one in North Park
right next to
that
Pigment.
had kind of like a
the Jazzy Kitchen one.
Yes.
Yes.
It's gone.
Yeah.
Oh, everything I love leaves me.
It was actually really sad. It was a really sad time.
Yeah.
From COVID.
No, it was before. It's been closed for like a year.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I need to get out more.
So we actually met because you guys, I think we just got into your conversation because you and your husband were talking or something, and we overheard and started talking to you about it, and then that's how we got to know each other. And then we started seeing each other in different places throughout San Diego at different other events.
Yeah.
So that's kind of just how we've connected and kind of gotten to know each other. I saw her at Morning Glory, which is a breakfast restaurant.
That sounds dirty.
Oh, no, it is.
Morning Glory?
Yeah.
Morning Glory?
I keep telling them they need little donut holes to call Morning glory holes.
Oh, my
But
That is funny.
but
I'll see what I can do.
Nobody will take my calls. But it was funny because she's up there and she got sat and up to the front of the line really fast at this restaurant. And there was a line down the block. So I'm like all the way in the back, like taking a photo for my Instagram story, like stalking you.
Oh, God. That's when I feel like an asshole because it's like when there's a 3-hour wait and I come up and I'm like, hi, actually, I'm on the list. They're like, are you putting your name on? And I'm like, no, I'm Courtney. And they're like, oh, Coco, sure, come on in. And then everybody else, like the other 20 people are looking at me like I'm a total bitch. But, you know.
No, I love it because that happens at Kettner all the time. Like, they'll bring special dishes out and from the restaurant because I, used to work there and people will be like, how do I get that dish? And the service will be like, you can't.
I know. It's like on one side, I feel like it's really cool. But on the other, then I feel like, I don't want to be that person.
Right. It comes to the territory, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and I think people are understanding if they know what you do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Totally.
So Coco is our first guest in our studio, and we decided to do an episode about like being an influencer and especially being an influencer during a pandemic. So my first question for you, Coco, is how did you become an influencer, or what was the point when you knew that you were an influencer?
Yeah, well, first of all, I've been an influencer my whole entire life. No, I'm just joking.
Same.
But so I've only been in San Diego for 5 years. I was born and raised in the Bay Area. And so I moved down here and I was here for about a year and I really didn't have that many friends. I feel like when you're an adult, it's especially married, it's harder to make friends, especially in a new city if you're not like, coworkers, they're all great and stuff, but we're just all different pages of life. So I started, like, my husband and I would go out all the time. We'd go to different restaurants and just talk about, like, our favorite places. Or I would post and be like, oh, my gosh, this place was so good. And I had some friends who were like, oh, my God, you're having the time of your life in San Diego. You should start a blog. And I thought, you know what, that might be a cool way to meet people, like networking groups. And there was a lot of groups, like women's groups at that time that were, like hosting those type of events. So I decided to do that. And it first started with a blog, and I was doing I was really gung-ho about it, like writing all the time and going different places. And then I started getting invited places. And then more and more, PR companies and restaurants and local places really didn't care about what I was writing anymore, and they just wanted the picture on Instagram.
Ooh.
So it kind of morphed into, a hobby at first, because I do have a full-time job. I work for the YMCA in fundraising. And so this has been kind of like a fun, like passion project type of a thing. And it's been great because I get to meet people. I get to do this, right? And so it kind of just morphed, and and now 14,000 followers later, I'm like, all right, this is cool. I get to do
actually, it's 15 because I just saw that on your Instagram. Don't try to be humble, girl. Okay.
I love it. That's awesome. I'm glad someone knows.
He's keeping track on
Yeah, no, I feel honored.
I'm stalking.
Hashtag goals. Hashtag goals. I have a quick question that's not related to anything, but where in the Bay Area are you from?
San Jose.
Okay, so South Bay. Gotcha.
Yeah, South Bay.
I'm from the East Bay.
Oh, where?
Concord.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Cool.
Nice.
You got out too. Good to know.
Yeah, I know. I escaped.
So, the Concord, California, those your parents that are listening to our podcast?
Oh my God! No, it might be my friends.
Okay, just check.
That's awesome.
Is that they have statistics there?
Yeah.
That might be Bethany, Ariel, Rachel, or
shout out to the Bay Area.
Hey, girl.
If you see San Jose, mine's probably my grandma.
Oh, we accept all ages, all walks
That's
of
great.
life. Yeah.
We're a family-friendly show for the most part.
I love it, except I said the B word earlier. But it's a podcast, so you're allowed to swear, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Totally.
No, family friendly, and we're teaching kids things early.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right. And I talked about
If you use
glory
the word
holes.
if you use the word
glory
appropriately, sometimes.
Kids are learning things much earlier on nowadays.
Try
It's
that.
only for their
Scary.
benefit.
So now, what do you love about kind of being an influencer? And I mean, do you call yourself an influencer, or do you feel like that's you, or?
Well, I hate the word influencer just because I think it has this like sticky, grimy, like, and you know what? To be honest, there's plenty of influencers that I have met that live up to that influencer like
stereotype.
Yeah. So I don't love it in that regard, but I do love an influencer in a sense that it's uniting people and bringing people together and creating a space for community.
Right.
Oh my gosh, you were like the Miss American pageant of influencers. That was like the perfect answer. Oh man.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
And I was talking to Andy, my husband, about this, like what you consider your brand. And I always thought it was like, she's all about local San Diego things, specifically trying to, push all of that to the forefront as much as possible. Like, cause you're really big into like Consortium Holdings, like that whole line of restaurants and stuff. You go down to Mexico a lot, with, promoting those kind of food and stuff.
Yeah.
But you also do a lot of, clothing lines and skincare products and stuff that are San Diego based. And is that kind of like who you are now? Like, you want to promote local as much as possible?
Absolutely. It was interesting because I was primarily San Diego, and then my husband and I would go to Mexico a lot, in Tijuana, and it has such a bad rap, and people just see Tijuana as what they see in the media.
Oh, girl, that's me.
Exactly. Everyone's like, what do you mean you're going there? And I'm like, look at me. If I can go there and prance around and
Anyone
drink and
can
have
do
fun,
it.
anyone can do it. And that's kind of my point. And so, in all honesty, it's so funny. My Mexico stuff does probably some of the best in engagement and saves, and I get so many questions on that. So it was interesting that I started, primarily San Diego, and then kind of Baja California, and then it kind of morphed into this Mexico. And then if I do work with like national brands or other places, I really try to make sure that there is a local San Diego type of connection, especially because I think like almost 50% of my followers are San Diego.
Right.
Oh wow.
So majority of them are San Diego, Tijuana, and LA.
Okay.
So you're covering all of really Southern California.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I have a question. In terms of your creativity, where do you draw that from, right? Obviously, you're putting out a lot of content. You have people that value your opinion. Where do you draw that from?
Oh, good. You know what? I think I've always been a creative person. That's just kind of who I am. It's interesting. I've never been like an artist per se and that creative, but like ideas and like making things and bringing things together, or like events, that has always been something, even as a little girl, that has been ingrained in me. So I think I see something and it inspires me, or I hear something and I actually like write it in my notes. And that's kind of like, it's an everyday occurrence, or I meet someone, I'm like, oh, that would be good to talk about or such. So it's all over.
What are some of your favorite places in San Diego right now?
This is always the freaking hardest question.
Because you don't want to upset anyone.
No, well, and it's so hard because I have so many. It's like, depending on the mood I am. If I want drinks, or if I don't want drinks. If I want a loud and upbeat. I don't want any, So whenever anyone asks, I'm like, what neighborhood? But I actually just posted this last week because I got asked that question. But I do love Trust, which is right over here. Yeah. I love Bontai. There's a taqueria down in San Isidro, right by the border, called Tutano Taqueria. Best tacos ever. So good. You have to go there. It's women run. She hires all local women, and it's awesome. I'm all for it.
Word.
Which is awesome. I love Cesarina in Point Loma, OB area. Gosh, there's just so many places. Depends on, like I said, the mood and what the category is.
You would definitely tell them, like, a Consortium Holdings one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I didn't even say anything about Consortium Holdings yet.
I'm trying to help you with that.
I know, yeah, no, they are so good to me. And it's funny, I've actually been, one of the partners, Jason, who is the chef and who helps run all of the food programs. I was on his podcast, which was fun. And that was his first episode,
was
too.
Was that Prosciutto Boys? Or no,
yes,
was that
well,
different?
Jason, it's Jason's Shitty Potty... Jason's Shitty Podcast. Okay. That's what it is. Yeah.
Jason's Shitty Potty doesn't sound so fun.
That's when you'd be like wrong. And
Okay, so Jason, we need a shout out on your podcast now.
I know, right? Yeah,
Jason's Shitty. That's a tongue twister.
It
Jason's
is.
Shitty Potty.
I know, that's why it came out. Yeah. And you know what's funny? Actually, at one of their at a few of their restaurants, they have bidets. So maybe I'm thinking the potty
it's
because the potty is on.
There you go. The Shitty Potty. I mean,
The
podcasts
Shitty Potty. It's actually
are
a great
sometimes
potty,
called
not a
pods.
shitty potty.
Hey, it gets rid of the shitty. There you go.
Okay, so with that being said, because you're such a huge, not about potties, but
Yes.
because you are such a huge fan of them and you work with them a lot and stuff like that, what is your favorite Consortium Holdings restaurant? Because I'll tell you this, I did love Craft and Commerce, but I'm a Ted fan because he was the executive chef there for a while at Craft and Commerce when they did the remodel.
Yeah.
And because he worked at Kettner during that time. And so he's over at Born and Raised now, but we just went to Fortunate Son in North Park, which is their new easy Chinese food kind of thing. And they upset that they took away soda and swine. But I'll forgive him because Fortunate Son was amazing.
It was so good. Oh my
Everything
gosh.
is gone that I know of. Jeez. I really do. I need to leave my apartment. Jeez.
Yes, you do.
I'm like, Soda and Swine. Yeah, that was a great place. Urban Solace. Oh my gosh, I love that place. All gone.
I know.
Well, there we go.
But what is your favorite?
You know what? That is so hard. I actually love Underbelly. And I feel like a lot of people don't know that's a part of Consortium. Partly because I literally live half a mile, so I could walk there. And it's funny, I used to not be a huge ramen person, but my husband loves it. And it was really cool during, especially the stay-at-home order, when they got so creative. And basically every week at Underbelly, they represented one of their bars. So they'd be like, on Monday they had like Noble Experiment, and then they had Craft and Commerce, and then they had Polite Provisions, and they were selling their cocktails, and it was like a pop-up shop at their at Underbelly, and I just love that. So we'd walk down, grab cocktails, because I think that was kind of fun, right? At first, when it first came out in April, everyone was like, what? We can pick up drinks now? Like, we're in New Orleans.
Oh my God.
You know? Like,
But now everybody's doing that, though. Every restaurant is like trying to get their drinks like batched and put in bottles or those Capri Sun baggies or something, getting them out there, which is great, I think.
I think it's great, too, because, most restaurants make their money off of
alcohol.
Yep.
And so I think that is a great thing, and I hope it stays.
It's a creative thing that I think people have been really good at, you know?
Yeah.
You got to be able to do what you got to do during these times.
Absolutely. And they got really creative. And I think what was great, too, is they have such a following and people love certain bartenders and stuff. It was a great way also for them to keep their employees engaged and at least work a little bit. So I think, especially during that hard time, which partly why I love Consortium so much is they really invest in their employees. You know, before COVID, they had almost 800 employees. It was like 750 something employees.
Right, across everything.
Yeah. Which is crazy.
So with that being said, we're going to get a little serious right now because I want to know, like, how has the pandemic, Black Lives Matter, the election, everything, how has that changed the way you're going to do your influencing right now? Do you feel a need or anything to use your platform? Kind of thing?
Yeah, you know, in all honesty, it's something I really struggled with at first because I didn't really know where my place was in it. And I think a lot of people felt that way, and but at the same time, I didn't want to put out a statement or say something that was half-ass.
Right.
And I feel like a lot of corporations, a lot of places kind of just threw a statement together because they wanted the branding, they wanted to be a part of it. And so I wanted to be more intentional. Now, I'm super about helping out your local community. So while I can support as much as I can, nationally, I think it's important to focus on what's here right now and around us. And so I tried to help the best way possible by, supporting local, organizations and local nonprofits and local restaurants and Black-owned, companies, and really push those forward.
Did you feel a need from followers that kind of contacted you about this content? Like, did you feel a need from the people that follow you that you had to make a statement, or was it more you have your fan base, if you want to call it that, and that the people that follow you kind of already follow your vision, if that makes sense?
Yeah, in all honesty, I actually took about a almost 3-week hiatus from Instagram. I didn't post anything. And part of that was, like, one, I felt like I needed to learn. So I bought some books and educated myself, took some, took a course through a local nonprofit. And so I felt like I didn't have I just wasn't collected on what I wanted to say, and nobody was really asking. And so I thought, I'm going to take a step back and let the advocates really push forwit.
Good for you. I feel like a lot of people kind of, you touched the nail on the head.
Well, who you touching, girl?
Yeah, what nail?
You hit the nail on the head. I am so bad with idioms. That's fault or whatever.
Touch me in the morning.
Touch me on the nail? No. Here, I'm going to touch your finger.
Is that your Grindr caption?
Yeah, touch me on the nail.
Your header.
No, that's anaphylaxis. No, but a lot of people did rush to make a statement, and they got backlash for it. And I think being intentional with what you say is probably the best way to do it. And I think a lot of people did step back and take time to learn and educate themselves and really think about what they wanted to say. Because I think the more people that you again, influence, the more, sway you have.
Right.
And I think a lot of people don't realize that our words have repercussions. And if you have 30,000 followers, 1 million followers, what you say, people are going to believe.
Right.
And so I think that that's a good strategy. I think that a lot of people definitely need to do that. I do have a question, though, kind of on that topic. So in this, time, in terms of Black Lives Matter and protests and everything, like Paul said, the elections and just COVID, are you getting more or less negative critiques and feedbacks? And if so, how do you deal with that in relation to pre-COVID, where, everyone's a critic and you have hecklers? Like,
yeah.
I guess that was a lot of questions, but kind of...
Which one?
Break it down.
I guess to summarize, right?
No. Yeah, I got you.
Get out.
I got you.
Get out my face.
I'm eager to know, okay?
Yeah. You know what? I have to say, I have been really fortunate in that the people that follow me have been exceptional, and I feel like I have.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
I will thank you when I do follow you.
Yeah. Thanks to all my followers. You're the best. But really, it's like, I see some of, the other girls or other influencers that are posting all this backlash from different people, and I've maybe had a handful. In fact, it's funny. I think I've had more about being pregnant, which has been interesting. And not necessarily mean. They just, no offense, but they're just like men saying things that they don't realize can be hurtful. Like, I had, someone say...
Men are terrible.
Actually...
That's why I'm getting a dog.
Yeah, exactly. I posted a picture of eating at Fortunate Sons, and someone messaged me and was like, you should really watch what you're eating during pregnancy so you don't gain too much weight.
I do watch what I eat because I'm watching it goes in my mouth.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, so someone said that to you?
Some old man.
Oh my!
And so I was like, "What?" Like, I was very nice. I feel I just said, "I think I'm perfectly capable of managing my own pregnancy."
Good for you.
Thank you. And he was like, "Oh yeah, no, I didn't mean, anything but,
Sure, Jan."
And then I had someone else that was like, when I posted I was pregnant, was like, "Oh my gosh, I saw you out. I thought it was just a beer belly."
Ew!
And that's what I mean. It's like, those are the kind of hecklers I get. I'm so lucky that I really haven't had.
Yeah.
But I try also not to be controversial. I mean, I'll get some people that are like, "Hey, I went to this restaurant and it sucked." Or, "Hey, I had a bad experience." And honestly, if they've had a bad experience, there's been a few cases of that, I connected them with the people I worked with.
Oh,
and you can't control somebody's experience
totally.
When they go out somewhere, because, like, we've had that happen. I go out a lot too, and I try to go to different restaurants, and I try to tell people about it, and they're like, well, I didn't have as good of a time, and I'm like, I want to be like, so what was your attitude when you were there?
Right.
But also
attitude check.
I can't control your experience for
Absolutely. Well, and even like Morning Glory is a great example because honestly, I probably would not wait very many places more than a half an hour, maybe an hour, and like to wait 2-3 hours. And then I get there and I have a pancake that is not up to my standard.
Right.
I think that's what happens too is we put these places on a pedestal and walk in and we have these grand expectations. And it's really our expectations of the place and not...
Well, with that being said, I have waited 2.5 hours for Snooze and have never been disappointed. So,
that's true.
So if you want to go ahead and sponsor us, Snooze, I would love that.
We are not sleeping. We are awake. Yeah.
I love Snooze. I love Snooze too.
Snooze is tasty. So, okay, in terms of the negativity, it seems like you've been pretty lucky, right?
Yeah.
No hecklers, no negative comments, because that's what I think is a big fear of people stepping into a platform of... Well, I'm a public figure now.
Right.
I have to have backlash. I'm going to get all this hate and all that kind of stuff. So that's good. Props to you for doing that. I think that's not the common story, right? Do you think a lot of people do have that?
I think some people do, but if you're being kind and genuine, I think I'm my authentic self. I think where people get caught up is when they're not their real selves on the internet. And that happens... so much. And I can even tell you that some of the bloggers and influencers I have met, and I'm like, you're nothing. You're not a nice person. Like, you act like this, totally different person on there. But I think, like, I pride myself on being authentic, and who you see on Coco San Diego is who you're going to meet in person. Like,
it is very true, y'all. So
yeah, I think that's, again, you hit the nail on the head. Is that what it is?
Oh my God, I got it right! Yay!
We're gonna get it!
Yes! Next thing is Morning Glory holes, everybody. But it's true. Authenticity, I think people are attracted to that because it's real.
Yeah.
Right? Well, that's good. I'm happy that you don't have negativity. That's a good thing.
Well, and like for us, like we're putting this out here for people to judge us now. And just like you're doing, we're doing this podcast and I'm like, am I ready for the backlash? Because I will throw hands in a second.
I'm ready because I'm fake. That's press on nails, girl.
But you can't let that stuff, like, if you have 1,000 nice comments, and it's hard, right? Because you have 1,000 nice comments, and one that's like, give me a effing break, Or like, and honestly, some of them I don't respond. Maybe I won't respond to, or I just like it and like, or thanks for your feedback, and that's it.
Well, you get to choose, I think, what you give your energy to, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And it seems like you're picking
the
the positive over the negative, and you don't want to let one bad thing trip up your day.
Exactly.
Which is, again, that's a takeaway lesson, people. That's what you want to know. Again, we're teaching you. Take it away, or nail on the head. There you go. So. Kind of, again, similar sort of story, but so the negativity, obviously, it doesn't seem like it's affecting you, but you mentioned that you had a full-time job.
Yes.
Right? How do you do this with a full-time job? Everybody in the audience, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Y'all, it's been a day. Nail on the head. Right? So everyone out there in podcast
that would be
land,
Cooper.
Yes. Exactly.
She is with child, right?
She's not the Virgin Mary.
Yeah, I know. Right?
We don't know. She's the Virgin Coco.
I could be.
I met her husband.
Virgin.
He is a little cutie. She is not the Virgin Mary.
So, but like, you got a lot going on, right?
Yes.
And again, you have a full-time job. You're an influencer. You're pregnant.
Figuratively and literally, a lot going on.
Yes, I know. There is a lot going on.
And a pandemic. So how do you juggle all of that? And how do you maintain some sort of sanity? Because you seem very well put together. You got a good outlook on life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Feeling good
So
about myself today.
what's the secret?
You know what? It kind of goes back to, like you said, you have the choice to what you want to give your energy to. And by nature, I am a total extrovert. So I get my energy being around people. If I have a hard day, I want to see friends. I want to go out. If I am happy, I want to see friends. I want to go out. If I'm sad, I want to see friends. I want to go out. So that is what brings me joy and brings me a lot of fulfillment. And I find a lot of self-worth in that. So I think But the whole like managing and scheduling of like work, I've had to say no to some like really cool experiences that I could have, like trips like to different places that I've had to say no to because I do work full time and I do find also a lot of worth in my career and I really love what I do. And so I think that was the hardest struggle at first because I wanted to do everything. And I'm like, okay, well, if I go to this one, like, can I go to this one? And if not, like, and then also making sure, like, oh, do I have time for my husband? Like,
yeah.
Right? Oh,
kind of important.
He's important too.
Yeah.
And he's an amazing support and he is an incredible human. And it's been fun because then I just paired up like date nights or I do a ton of restaurants. And so that's been nice because I always get a +1, obviously. And because I'm not going to go eat by myself, even though I have no problem eating by myself. But it's been a great time to just connect one-on-one with friendships, too. Yeah. So even if it's not a date night with my husband, it's like with one of my best friends, I can sit down and talk about, and it's great because we get a free meal out of it. So, and you know, I always I have a group text, and it's always like, all right, Andrew doesn't want to come. Who wants to come with me?
I need to be included in that group text. I just gave you my phone number, so yeah.
I know, it's so funny, and they're always like, everyone's like, I think I took the best picture last time.
Oh,
and
no.
yeah, it's like, it becomes like this, competition.
It's a competition,
of,
yeah.
like, who took the best Coco picture.
Oh my God. Do you feel like sometimes you get a little burnt out from kind of burning the candle at both ends?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and and the one thing I said to myself when I started this is that I need to remind myself that this is fun.
Yeah.
And the moments that it doesn't feel fun, like I need to take a step back because I don't want to burn out from it. So that is something that I, definitely have been more aware of and just trying to pick and choose the ones I go to. And
you talked about how you have to say no to some projects and things like that. So one that you said yes to is coming up in the beginning of October.
Yes.
Throughout the whole of October. It is the SDCCU Festival of the Arts.
Yeah.
So tell us about that.
Yeah, so that used to be a weekend that happened every year in North Park, and they shut down the streets, and it's a big kind of arts and wines type of festival, and they've got a beer garden, and they have local bands playing. But obviously with COVID this year, they had to, everyone's favorite word, pivot what they were doing because of these unprecedented times.
Oh my God, Ross, are you here?
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh my God,
yes.
I just got that.
Yes. I'm loving the Friends reference. I love it. So it's, and, North Park is near and dear to my heart. So when we first moved to San Diego, we lived actually downtown, but we got married in North Park, which is really fun. And then now we live there. So they had asked me if I would be willing to be the MC this year on their events. So there's a whole bunch of different virtual events, and they're going to be supporting the local businesses there. So I think from we're doing succulents planting with pigment and DIY nail art and mezcal tasting. I won't be doing the mezcal tasting, but I'll be at least
You would be if you weren't
drooling.
reproducing.
Exactly. And I think there's wine tasting and there's Battle of the Bands. So those are going to be happening on Thursdays and Saturdays all throughout October. And you can go online and get the different kits, which will be fun. So you can, great date night type of thing where you can pick up your little kit and then watch it virtually and kind of do something.
So is each thing a separate charge if you wanted to watch?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So each thing is so maybe you want to do the mezcal tasting and the succulent planting. So you would buy those packages and then you get to do them those nights.
But if you wanted to watch the Battle of the Bands, is that going to cost you to watch it?
No,
online?
The Battle of the Bands is there's going to be actually even viewing. I think not. I don't want to say parties because it seems like party is a bad word these days.
Oh, shh.
Right?
We're going to bleep that out.
Yeah, exactly. garden parties are not allowed. But viewing stations or restaurants.
Look at you go. Look at you pivoting with
I know.
words.
I'm racking like my thesaurus brain right now. What other words I could use? But they'll be at different locations. And then what's cool, you'll be able to go online and vote, or you'll be able to vote at those. We are True North and Bivouac, and vote for those different bands. Which is really cool.
Bivouac.
And that's next Tuesday, actually.
It starts on the...
Or next Thursday.
It starts on the...
I'll get the date right.
But this, so this episode will come out, like, in the middle of this, right around the start of it. So it'd be great for people to be able to, like, go online to a website to figure out where...
Yeah, explorenorthpark.com.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, or head over to my page. I'm sure I'll have something on it.
And what is your page?
At Coco _San Diego.
Thank you. And that's on the gram.
Yes, that is on the gram.
I have one final question.
Yes.
Which is extremely important to me. So I want to know...
Do you think he's cute?
No.
Obvi.
We don't need to know that one. What are you craving during pregnancy?
Oh, God. You know something funny? I do not crave... I don't eat a lot of red meat. And I can't tell you, I have had more red meat and more steak in the last 4 months.
Yes, girl.
Than I have in the last 4 years.
Well, then you don't need iron. You're good.
I know.
She is not deficient in iron, everybody.
And then the other weird thing is Gatorade.
Oh, okay.
Bro, I know.
I mean, I don't judge.
Okay.
I saw that face. Judge Judy over here.
With saying Gatorade, what color? Because it's not flavors with Gatorade, it's colors.
Are we doing cool blue or like ice purple or
you know what? It depends
red?
on the mood. I really do just love orange.
Okay.
But yesterday,
Oh my god.
yesterday I had a lime cucumber. Let my voice crack. I had a lime cucumber. It tasted like spa water.
Gatorade's getting
so
bougie.
fancy. I was drinking it with my finger up. Like,
In a good or a bad way
it
with the
was
spa
so
water?
good. I was
And this is Gatorade?
Gatorade. And I thought, okay, if I added some sparkling water, a little bit of Tito's, maybe a little tahini. I could actually get down with this as a cocktail. Now, it might only be because my pregnant brain and my pregnant taste buds right now. But yeah, who knew there was a lime cucumber?
Not me.
Very good.
I
Hard
didn't.
to find.
Now
Cottage
everyone
Liquors,
knows.
though, right over here.
Oh my god. So Gatorade and red meat. I mean,
Yes.
the
I sound
takeaway.
like I'm from the
there you
Midwest.
go.
Football player in the Midwest.
Oh my god.
Girl.
Get some meat, some Gatorade. Gotta hydrate, some
God.
red meat.
Get
oh
the meat
man.
sweats and everything.
Oh
you
jeez.
know?
All right. So, you are our first guest in the studio / my
House.
living room. So, we are going to start this thing where we're going to ask you 3 quick fire questions.
Oh.
So, you just have to answer really fast. No
Okay.
thinking about it. Just
Oh,
whatever
gosh.
pops up. So, the first one is, if you were a frozen yogurt, what flavor would you be and what mix-ins would you have?
Oh, whew. Oh man, it's like, am I being naughty Coco because or am I being
Naughty Coco.
sweet Coco?
Sorry, that's a drag name.
Naughty
I
Coco.
know. Well, I do love coconut, so I feel like I'd be coconut because it's a little softer and sweeter, but it's also could be a little wild. On the
Is she
other
being naughty
side,
right now?
I think she's being sweet. A little wild.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe some sprinkles.
Okay.
All right.
Pretty, I feel
We
like you
can
guys
get on
didn't
board
like
with
that
some sprinkles.
response. You were expecting
Look, just
tell me what you want. I can throw some nuts in there, boys, if that's what you want.
maybe just some sorbet Gatorade, and then you'd be happy with pickles, because that's what it would
Exactly.
be. Okay, so the second question is, what superpower would you want to have, and what would your code name be?
Oh, okay. Well, 100%. I have thought this question out a million times. I would want to be able to speak every language.
Oh.
And I people don't always, they're always like, that's not really a superpower. I'm like, yes,
Actually-
it is. If you knew every language in the world, I would know what they're saying when they're painting my nails, when I'm in Mexico,
When I'm ordering my food.
Exactly. Just think of all the conversations that I'm kind of nosy. So I feel like if I were to hear the table next to me and then know what they're speaking in their other language, or like a waiter, like when an Italian waiter comes out, and I don't know if they're like, God, she's so annoying, right, to my face, or
stupid American.
But do they know that they know?
I'm like, do they know it? I'm like breaking that down in my head.
Yeah, right.
No.
So it's a secret.
It's a secret.
Okay.
So my geeky party is going to come out right now because I'm a comic book nerd, and I will tell you that yes, knowing how to read and speak all kinds of languages is a superpower, because there was a character in the New Mutants named Cypher, and that was his power.
Oh,
so I'm just little infotainment for all you fans out there.
Learning corner with Paul.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So our last question is going to be: name a movie you can rewatch continuously.
Valley Girl.
Oh, that was quick, girl. Okay.
I don't even know what that is. What is it?
Well, I'm a big Molly
Oh
Ringwald.
my God, gag me with a spoon right now.
It's an
What are you
80s
talking
movie.
about?
BRB getting a spoon.
I love it, like her whole fashion and when she puts her dress together. Like, I actually love 80s movies, and I also love 80s music.
Oh yeah, I can get
I'm a
about that.
diehard like new wave fan. Like,
So, what is a guilty pleasure musically for you?
like I love New Order.
Oh yeah, I love New Order too. I'm a huge
and
80s.
Erasure. Like, yeah.
We were just talking about Erasure earlier in our last episode.
My first concert was Duran Duran and Depeche Mode. And now I have cool street cred, but let me tell you, as a 13-year-old girl and my aunt taking me, I was like, can't we go see Backstreet Boys? This is so lame. But now I got street cred, so now it's cool.
Wait,
there you go.
So what is your favorite Duran Duran song?
I love Come Undone. And but that's I guess a more newer song.
Yeah, it's like the 90s.
And
Hungry Like a Wolf is the only one that I know.
Oh,
what about the reflex?
Oh yeah, that one's
The flex.
Yeah, see, I love that. And Rio, come on, I know, I love them all.
Well, thank you, Coco San Diego, for being here. Again, you can find her on Instagram. What is your handle again?
At Coco_San Diego.
We really appreciate it. There's a lot of fun, and we had a great time. Before we wrap up, we do want to give a shout out to our producer, Nick Stone. It is his birthday. Woo woo! Happy birthday to you!
Oh yeah, we will edit that out.
So we do have a special guest next week too. Our friend Andrew will be here.
That's right.
And we're talking about what again?
We're talking about fandoms, which I know nothing about. So if we want an infotainment episode, that's going to be Paul's Entertainment Corner teaching Joe everything.
All right. So if anyone wants to be a guest on a future episode, please let us know, because you can contact us through email at tugayspod@yahoo.com.
Or again, slide in our DMs at Instagram. Just slide on in.
And remember, share a funny story or most embarrassing date with us. It'd be a great first kickoff for that kind of thing. Please remember to like, subscribe, follow anywhere you can stream podcasts, Apple, iTunes, Spotify, under a rock. I don't care where you find your podcast.
Next to me in my car.
Yeah. So thank you again, guys.
Yeah,
have a great night.
Special thanks to Andrew Smith and Nick Stone for producing the show. If you like us, please follow us at tugayspod on Instagram and visit us online at tugayspod.com. You can find us anywhere you can stream podcasts. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and let us know topics you'd like to hear. And always remember, stay safe, stay classy, stay sassy, and always stay a little bit trashy. See you next week.